This is my story about writing a calling card script that got me repped at CAA and broke me into the industry. I'm Nadine Jolie Courtney, a working TV and feature writer in the WGA. I think that gatekeeping is bullshit, so I peek behind the Hollywood curtain and share whatever secrets I can. Follow if you want to hear more. Yeah, so I wrote this spec that is a biopic of a very famous person who arguably changed the trajectory of a recent presidential election. It's a political biopic. And it is with a very unlikable character who I maybe managed to make a little bit likable, even if she's doing really horrible things. Anyhow. Obviously, just because this was my experience doesn't mean this will be your experience. The industry is constantly changing, and everybody's experiences are different. Funny enough, I had sold a show to Netflix, and nobody really cared. I cared. It was very exciting, but selling a show wasn't really the thing that broke me in. What broke me in was my manager asked me to come up with a list of 5 different log lines because he wanted me to write a calling card script. Now, a calling card script is basically meant to be a spec script that your rep can then take around, send around the industry, and get them to sit up straighter and be like, wow, who is this writer? They want to take note of your voice. It's supposed to be something that shows you off in a really unique way where people say, this writer is somebody new worth knowing. I think that's literally even the subject line that my manager uses. It's like, writer worth knowing, Nadine Jolie Courtney. So my manager said, come up with a couple different ideas. Let's talk them through. I came up with like 5 different ideas, and one of them, he was like, ding ding, winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is the spec script that you need to write. Believe it or not, this was the first feature I had ever written. I spent years as a freelance writer, as a magazine editor, and I'd already published 4 books. I also, as I said, had sold a show to Netflix. I wrote a pilot for that show. We sold it in the room, but I had never written a feature script before. I read a bunch of feature scripts. I read like Michael Clayton and Aaron Brockovich and just tried to get my hands on the highest quality. I read Spotlight on the highest quality Academy Award winning scripts that I could find. Adaptation by Charlie Kaufman. You get the idea. I sent the first draft in to my manager and he read it and was like, okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. He had some notes. We had a conference call, his thoughts, and then I was off to write. I spent probably 2 months working on that second draft because writing is really rewriting. And so it's not just about finishing that first pass of the script. It's about honing it, editing it, refining it, trying to make it into the gem that you know it could be. So I submitted that second draft to him. And I remember I was in the Century City parking lot and he called me and he was like spluttering. He was like, oh my, holy shit, this is fucking, oh my God, Jesus. Like he was like, this script is fucking amazing. That's the reaction that you want from your manager. You don't want like, wow, this is great. You want, holy shit, this is unbelievable. That's the script that can break you in. That's your calling card. Sent it out and it was like a tsunami. Immediately I was inundated with generals. I was having general meetings with a studio head, with several A-list household name celebrities who wanted to play the main character, with randomly the son of an A-list celebrity who has like a vanity production company just because he wanted to meet me. He said, I wanted to meet the person who wrote this script. One of my very best friends from college, who is an Emmy winning and DGA winning director, called me and said, hey, so this other agency that is neither her agency nor my agency is trying to poach me, and they sent me your script and said, hey, we have this hot new spec by this writer, Nadine Jolie Courtney. We think it would be perfect for you. Like, and so that's what happens when you write a script like that. When you write a spec that really, really takes off and can change your career upward trajectory like a rocket, it is just going to ricochet around town. And that actually is something that my manager talked about on The Town recently, is the idea that, you know, when you have this really hot script, it's not about guarding it and, you know, checking to see whose eyeballs are on it and for your eyes only. It's like, no, you want it to take on a life of its own. You want it to blow up and just be echoing around every single corner of the industry. you want to get as many reads as possible. I'd been trying to get an agent with not much luck. Again, they didn't really care that I'd sold a show. But once they read this spec, I was suddenly wrapped at CAA for both TV and features. And a few different producers reach out to me and tell me that they were going to vote for it on the blacklist. To this day, I don't know how it didn't make the blacklist, but that's totally fine. It did for me what it needed to do. It was a blacklist-esque script in that it totally changed the trajectory of my career. And suddenly I went from someone who had sold a show, which no one cared about, who had written a few books, which no one really cared about, to someone who had written that hot spec. Oh my God, what else is she capable of? My manager started getting calls from other reps of A-list actors saying their clients would kill to play this role. The rep of another A-list actress and director, that apparently she was attached to it. He was like, that's news to me, but cool, that's awesome. Because of the political nature of the movie and the sort of incendiary nature, this is the kind of movie that my manager was like, I don't think this is ever gonna get made, even with the attachments. But regardless, the script is doing exactly what it needs to. And that script got me so many jobs. I wrote it, I think in 2022 or 2023. It continues to get me work. And so I got hired on a show. That show led me to working with a producer that is now the producer I'm with on my current show for Amazon that we recently sold. I got polishes, I got rewrites, I got OWAs, I got a gig working with the producers of this Academy Award winning movie and that Academy Award winning movie and that Academy Award nominated movie. And all of a sudden I was swimming in these waters. There was a moment when I was in New Orleans with a bunch of people for a movie that I was writing. It was the Academy Award winning producer of a huge household name movie, an Academy Award nominated producer, two Pulitzer Prize winning authors, the Emmy Award winning director of one of the most awesome shows of the past 5 years, and me. And this is all because of my spec, because they said they wanted the Nadine spec version of this movie. So that's what a calling card script can do for you, even if it's not on the blacklist. Wah wah, tiny violins. It can be the script that opens the doors, knocks down the doors, gets people excited for you, lets them know that you have a unique voice, that you understand the craft, and then just gets you in rooms. You know, my manager said to me at one point, this is way above your pay grade, but I guess this is your pay grade now. That's what happens when you write an amazing spec. Let me know if you want to hear more, and yeah, keep writing.